Nah, I love that. Go ahead. You had a mic. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Introduce yourself too.
I trust I was.
Okay, go ahead.
How y'all doing? I'm Jay Reed. I missed the workshop earlier because I was in training for work, which I'm actually super jealous for. But I'm so glad I came to see the podcast because Mr. Smith said something that I really agree with. You said that trauma defines,
Shapes us. Yeah,
right. And I don't all the way believe in that because I grew up in low income Section 8, and my mom made it so she let me be a kid. I was oblivious, but the whole time when I turned 18, I saw what was happening outside. You know what I'm saying? Not because she kept me at a child's place, but she also respected me as a person during that whole time. You know what I'm saying? So I went through my anything that a black kid should go through being in the hood. So I didn't really have too many traumatic experiences growing up, but I've dealt with mental health because of the vision, because of where I wanted my end game to be at. But that's also why I stay positive. And I think because of my end game, it shaped me to be who I am. And I don't believe a lot of black men have that end game. And that's where imposter syndrome comes up. That's where you get lost. You kind of stay to your room, don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Don't want to participate or stay stagnant because it's a fixed mindset. We need to teach the growth mindset in the black communities, and this is my opinion, rather than focusing on trauma. Because once you focus on the negativity, then you have the consistency of the negativity. Like, you want to push positivity. Yes, you went through this, but what you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you right, it does shape you, but it doesn't make you. And I don't like when people say that. I think that's when like they start to feel like trauma is the only thing they can relate to. And that's why I wanted to say that. And I'm glad that Ms. Smith had to turn all that trauma that he went through and made it positive, because he knew where he came from isn't where he was going to stay. So I commend you in your journey for that, Mr. Smith.
You wanted to say something, Wes?
Go ahead. Peace, bro. I ain't even mean to cut in on your wisdom, but I feel like sometimes when we don't have the experience that someone else has been through, we can speak out of ignorance, in a sense. As in, like, if you haven't had the trauma, so you don't know what it feels like to have that effect on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to skate. I don't know how to do a skateboard. No, I'm only going off what you said, though. I'm only going off what you said. What you said was that you don't have the trauma experiences.
Hand him back the mic. Yeah.
I'm about to say, I'm not saying ignore the trauma and not talk about it. I'm saying don't focus on it, because I've seen it happen in black communities where people has gone through so much trauma that everybody can relate to. But then because they can relate to it, that's all they want to hear, instead of where you going to go after that. Make some, you know what I'm saying? There's opportunities to go through, like, there's groups to talk about the trauma so you can stop thinking about it. Like, I feel like black men are very much stuck in their trauma. I feel like as a black community, we are stuck in a lot of things, especially country folk. And I'm coming from the country. My grandpa would never get a promotion at his job because he knows what to do, at his job. And because he knows he's going to get this much, he'd rather stay there than try to take that risk to do better. And that's where I was coming from. Like, we can't always go back to trauma. You know what I'm saying? Just to say that built us up. What also built us up was our friends, you know what I'm saying, growing up, that were there going through that trauma. You see what I'm saying? Like, all the positives within the negatives.
And let me add to what you're saying, right? So the reason why I said shape, because you said first trauma defines, and I corrected you. I was like, nah, shapes. Because words are very important, right? So that's why I didn't say defines you, because your trauma don't define, it doesn't make you who you are, right? It does shape you in a way, though. Because once I went through depression, I can't ever not remember that time. That shaped me. That shaped me, right? That did shape me in a way. And so, like, when we talk about the shaping, I'm not saying fixate on it to the point where you're not able to function, right? Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, during the workshop, we talked about this. Actually, literally during the workshop, we talked about this. We talked about how us as black men, oftentimes, our go-to for dealing with life's problems is I'm gonna just grind it out. I'm going through something right now, but I still gotta grind it out. And I was telling the brothers here, like, I understand that there's gonna be a time in your life where you're gonna be going through something, and unfortunately, you're still gonna have to grind out some things, right? But when you make that your default for everything, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but I'm just like mentioning this because I know you weren't here during the workshop. But if you make that your default for everything when you're going through stuff, you'll end up 70, 75, 80, and all you've been doing your whole life is grinding through, but you've never taken the time to stop and address the actual trauma that you've built up during that time, right? So yes, you can be positive. Yes, you can focus on the positives that you have in your life, but you also at some point in time have to take the time to address the trauma in a healthy way so that you can be able to process, unpack that, and deal with it so that it's not impacting you as you go about your life. It's not impacting your family,